Hey, my name's Tim Gill. We're here for the Courtyard Studios with Masterpiece. Masterpiece, hi.
Hi.
Just done an exciting session for us. Great tracks coming out there.
Yeah.
How was it for you? Did you feel good about it?
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I liked the room as well. The room's quite crazy. So yeah.
It's pretty good. They make a lot of gin here, and they got the bar here. It's a good hospitality area.
Yeah.
So, you know, you've got the first album that came out. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration for that and how you generated the sort of mix of genres.
I would say like early 2000s, like indie sleaze, electro clash, like was kind of the inspiration for the album. I feel like I wanted to tap into something that nobody in the UK, like in this current time, had tapped into yet. And obviously, like you have like the people before us. But in my head, I was like, I want to make an album that sounds like that time.
So the album and the sound that you've played for us today, it's a lot of different styles, and you know, you come from a sort of grime background, you've done a bit of soul, you've got the indie in there now.
Yeah.
How did that set of genres come together?
I just felt like I didn't want to box myself in, and I always knew I wanted to make like mainstream music. I just didn't really know how to get into the mainstream. And then I think me making this record was to be like, yeah, I can sit with you guys and still be in the same pocket and still like, do you know what I mean? In that sense.
And you got a decent set of musicians behind you. Are they the same people you play with all the time, or?
Some of them, yeah. Some of them today was their first time, but some of them, yeah. Dan and Dion and Hattie I play with quite often, but then the rest are quite new, so.
Yeah. A lot of your songs, you know, you're touching on sort of different issues, you know, mental health, race, society. Where do you get the inspiration from to touch on those issues? I
just think of what I've seen. Like, I've seen a lot of stuff. So, like, I kind of want to just kind of talk about it. Not in a just kind of like preachy way, but just in a way where it's just kind of like makes sense to me. So when I'm listening to it, I'm like, okay, cool, like, that's what, like, it makes sense to me because I've kind of seen it more than like, oh, like everybody needs to not be racist or like, you know what I mean? Like, it's more than like, this is what I've seen and I'm kind of tying that world together. Bringing that into the music. Yeah. You know, you mentioned in the passing press influences like, you know, the Streets, Block Party, and is that something that you think is represented in your music, or do you think you've pulled from lots of different places to make your own sound? I definitely like, they are definitely my influences. I would say Mike Skinner, for sure, 100% was one of my, like, I always said to myself, when I was getting into music, I was like, if I could get a song with Mike Skinner or Damien Albarn, like, life would be complete. And then cut to 2024 and you're on the stage with him at Glastonbury Festival. How was that? Which is nuts. I will forever owe him the world for that. Like, I just made, like, people that, like, hadn't really heard about me in years or, like, didn't know what I was kind of up to, like, see me on TV with the Streets at Glastonbury is like, that. If that's the biggest, like, you know, fuck you. If that's your pinnacle, then that's enough, you know. It's just like, but you'll carry on going. You've got tours coming up. You're going to Australia. You've got Europe coming up. Tell us a bit about those tours. Yeah, I'm excited for it. My whole thing is like, I like to do it the old way. Like, you see, like now, like this with internet and like TikTok and whatnot, people kind of like, you can go kind of big via that. But like for me, I like to do it the old way. Like, I want to tour the music and kind of like get out there more than like just on like an online thing. And there's nothing wrong with it being online, but I just want to be like outside. I feel like the music was meant to be played outside for people. So I don't want to steer away from that. I want people to hear it.
You know, you've worked with a lot of artists, you've done a lot of collaborations, you've worked with producers like Matt Swartz, and how was that experience? How's that influenced you?
Matt is just, like, he's just sent from God. Like, he came in my career at the right time. I don't think my music would sound as good as it does without Matty. I think Matty, with the stuff he's done with Youngblood and like Kylie Minogue and whatnot, he always had his ear to like what makes sense for me. He didn't want to take me too pop, but he didn't want to take me too underground. He wanted just to sit right in the middle where people can kind of like take it in for what it is. And he would always say like, you should do like your past as your advantage. So it's like how you used to rap on grime beats and like do all of those type of stuff. You should add that into the music. Like, don't shy away from that. Like, that's like another unique selling point for people to kind of take you in, that you can do the dance song, but then you can do an indie song. Then you can do you know what I mean? It's like you have a box that you can kind of come out of and move around, which a lot of people don't have. So I kind of use that as like my, you know.
So in a way, just, you know, having those different styles, like from different backgrounds, has allowed you to sort of move in between the genres. A lot of artists, they think, oh, this is who I am, I've got to stay within that field, whereas you don't feel limited by that in any way.
No, like I feel like meeting people like Matty and Julian definitely showed me that like I shouldn't be afraid to do that. It will take longer to like proper breakthrough, but once you're like in it, like once it lands, which like this album has helped a lot, like changed my life a lot in a lot of ways. It's helped me kind of build a following and build people being like, yo, like, okay, we get it. Like, there's a group of people that are like, we know that you will change it up and switch it up, and we're actually okay with that.
You know, we talked about the performance with the Streets of Glastonbury.
Yeah.
Now you've reached that pinnacle of success. What's the next rung on the ladder? Who do you want to collaborate with next, if you could?
I'd probably say like the Gorillaz.
Fair.
Or like 1975.
Yeah, good choices.
Yeah, I'll probably say those two. 1975, because I've just always been a fan. And I think that like Matt Healy is just a genius. I think he's like on the money. And then same with Damon Albarn. Like, I feel like, again, like Blur, Gorillaz, like, you know the story.
Proper stuff.
Yeah.
Proper stuff. You've got a new album coming out, and is it How to Make Another Masterpiece?
Yeah, it's an EP. So it's just a deluxe of the first one.
Okay.
It's like, I didn't really want to call it a deluxe. So we just called it, like, we just gave it another, like we just said, another masterpiece. So it's just the end of the era of that debut album. So it's just like, you wanted to make a project that was like the end of the era, just to be like, okay, cool, we're putting this away. And it's like, cool. Kind of like how like Charlie's doing it with like Brat. It's like she'll drop like a remix album or like an extended version. So it's just an extended play that it's just like, all right, cool, these are for you guys. That because it's like, the album came out in March and I'm like, I want to drop again. So
Yeah.
I thought, let's give him another, just a little box of chocolates just to cherry it on top. And then
An extra little piece on top.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
So, like, you know, you've been through the mill in the industry a bit. You've been, you know, getting on with it. You've been having a good level of success, especially recently. You've been doing well. Have you got any advice for musicians or artists that are upcoming now that you could help them running into any obstacles?
I think I would probably say stick with your guns and also be open to learn, because I feel like you can easily get caught out, like, if you don't learn stuff. Like, I realised that I'm not the best songwriter when I've met other songwriters, or I've realised that I'm not the best performer when I've seen other performers. But it's easy to kind of get in that ego state of like, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best. But it's like, sometimes it's actually good to learn, because you could learn something that you never realised.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think be open to learn from people, because I feel like you're always learning. Like me, like, I think my debut album's great. Obviously won the Ivar and like got in the charts and whatnot. But I'm like, I know my second album, I need to even make it even better. And I'm learning from different artists, being like, oh, he did that and she did this. And do you know what I mean? Just to kind of get my brain ticking. So.
When's the EP out, man?
It's out October the 4th.
October the 4th, so you can look forward to that.
Yeah.
Look, man, thanks for coming in. Thanks for playing the session. I really appreciate it. Good luck with the tours. My name's Tim Gill, here with Masterpiece for the Courtyard Studios. Thanks for listening.
Cheers.